You can't win 2 state championships if you don't win the first one first. I know that kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's true. Our guest here today is a 2-time state champion representing those Shamrocks from Louisville Trinity. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
Ben Barton right here.
And you're one of the flag bearers for the Trinity program. We could go through the list of, your Bradburys, your Hitchings, your Fahey's, your Omans, your Rays, your Hoffmans. We could go on and on and on. But I mean, you're one of the faces of the program. I mean, you just are. You had 2 great years, 2 state championships. You went on to college. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. Now you're involved with an apparel sales with Rudis. We'll talk about that as well at the end of the video. But man, we said in an early video, man, your blood is as green as my last name. I mean, you're a Shamrock through and through. We talked about that in the first video. Really not going to talk about that here too much because we've already covered it. So you win it as a junior. 2015 was a jacked up year. The snow got you 2.5 weeks, whatever it was, that you had to work out on your own, no competition. You go, you win it. Now you're a senior. It's your team. How many seniors were on the team that year? Do you remember?
Oh, we had a lot. We were really top heavy on that year. I think we had like 12 or 13.
Oh my!
And
that's a lot.
Majority of them were in the lineup. So the next year, and they got a new coach. They had a whole new team. So it was Pat Fleming had to do a lot of rebuilding, and he's done a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you come in after your junior year. Well, let me rephrase that. After your junior season ends, it's time. I'm a senior. This is our program now. Are you like back in because we've done Alex Ray's and Richard Brown's memorial video in the wrestling room there at Trinity. Was you in there like the next day working out? Did you take some time off? How did that, if you remember?
So going into my senior year, I remember I might have taken like a few days off just because after, I did. I went back like Sunday. We started working out again.
That's dedication.
We were finished Thursday, and then we had Friday and Saturday. I had those 2 days off, and then I went right back into working out, and so just gotta keep going. Like it's it's a new day, new year. Gotta go for another one.
I mean that's how it's done. So, your senior year, you come in. Is it the mentality of, because like you hear your boxing analyst or even boxers, MMA, whatever, they'll say you're not the champ till you defend it. You can win a championship, whatever, you beat somebody, you may have the belt, you may have the prestige of being the champ, doing all the media, the interviews, action figures, whatever, but then they'll say, you're not the champ till you defend it. Did you have that mentality of, this is my 152-pound weight class, I'm going to defend it, or I'm just going to win another one? Because I think there's 2 different thoughts there.
It felt like I had to get the state title, so it was a little bit more like I felt I had a lot of pressure going into that first one. But then it was a little bit different, I guess, because it's just like, well, I won it, I have to win the second one. Like I can't lose the second one. And this year I felt like it was a little bit different mentality, and that I still had that hunger, right, and I was still like fast, but I came off knee surgery, and it was it was just a little minor knee surgery at the beginning of the year, and I was having some problems with that, but I was just focused on I got more pins that year. I led the team in pins, so I changed my game a little bit more as opposed to just like take down, move. I kind of was able to think through positions more, and I felt like I matured a lot more this year.
It was your journey, man, and it worked for you. But let's go straight into the matches here. 2016, 152 pounds, 50-4. You don't have to tell us about the 4. It's a phenomenal record. Your team comes in 4th place, but you start off your state tournament with a fall over William Baber, Boone County, 1 minute 24 seconds. So it's like the first year, or 2015, you're in, you're out, 1 minute 24 seconds. Second round, you get a fall over Elias. We're going to say it's Equal from, and we don't mean mean to mispronounce anybody's name. We just don't know how it's pronounced. From EQAL from Tate's Creek, 3 minutes, 31 seconds. So again, you're in, you're out, boom. Those are basically 2 morning matches, then you don't wrestle again until that evening. You're wrestling Jordan Kidwell from Cooper. You win an 18-8 major decision, and you're rolling on into the finals. Now the match, I think, of the tournament was, of this weight class anyway, was you were going against Jordan Blanton, defending state champion from Johnson Central 2015, 145-pound state champion, and you get a decision over him 5-2. And that was a heck of a match.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And Jordan goes on that year to get 3rd place, and then in 2017 he goes on and he gets another state champion. So he ended up being a 2-timer. So heck of a semifinals right there. And you get to the finals. You're wrestling Brady Emerson from Oldham County, and we would be remiss if we didn't mention the passing of Max Emerson, 2016 state champion from Oldham County. We had talked to Max in person at state tournaments, state duels. We had talked to Max on social media several times about doing his video, and we were lucky to find yours. I guess your family recorded yours, and yours were on your YouTube channel. And the 2016 year, the only thing that we can find are highlights, unless somebody recorded it themselves, because we're still looking for Landon Young's video, looking for a couple other guys. And Max and myself had talked several times. Man, when we find the full video, we'll do your video. When we find the full match, because we don't want to just do half of it or the highlights or what. We want to do the whole thing. And we're in agreement. And then tragically, Max was murdered. In Washington, D.C. So this is not Max's memorial video by any stretch. We're going to get with Aaron, Josh, Brent, those guys, Brady, and we're going to do a true memorial for Max. But I couldn't, go any farther without mentioning Max. Do you have any memories of Max wrestling?
A lot. He was him and Brady were both we wrestled club together for a few years, and honestly, it kind of stretches even more than that. I kind of grew up with him in the sport, so I couldn't believe it when it happened. So
just absolute tragic.
Yeah.
There's no other word, just tragic. I really have a lot of faith in the justice system that the person responsible gets punished to the fullest extent, whether that's life in prison, whatever it is, they deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
No sympathy, no remorse. The guilty party that murdered Max, I hope you watch this, and I hope you get the maximum punishment that you can possibly humanly get, because what happened was just, he was there on if I'm not mistaken, some type of professional development retreat in Washington, D.C., and was murdered there, I think on a college campus, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So just a horrific tragedy.
He had actually texted me the day before, just saying happy 4th and all that, and it wasn't anything long or extensive, but I do remember he was my first couple years in college, and we can kind of talk about that later. Mm-hmm. We would talk back and forth, and he's a good dude, really good dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If there was a state championship for eyewear glasses, Max would be. He would be in the KHSAA Hall of Fame for the best eyewear. There's no question. But that's one of the beautiful things about now the time that we live in, is the world is smaller. This series probably wouldn't exist 10 years ago. Maybe in some form, but not to the extent that we've been able to do. I was able to connect with you, and we were able to set this up. So many other guys that we've been able to meet with on social media that I knew the name but didn't know the person, and they've invited me we're in your house. It's a beautiful home. I like the way it's the interior decorations are. So kudos to I think you said your mom redecorated, so it's kudos. I'm sure she'll watch this. Kudos to you and having your house decorated. This you're only seeing just a little bit of it, but trust me, it's beautiful. But just being able to connect with guys, stay in touch with people that you're able to. Life takes us in different crazy directions, but if you can pull out a phone, hey man, hope you have a good 4th. Hey man, just want to let you know You never would have beat me in a match. No, just whatever. Just
Yeah,
just
just
messing
kinda-
with guys, whatever.
yeah.
But back to the wrestling. You're in it. You're in the finals against Brady. Had you wrestled Brady before? Like
yeah,
actual in high school, not like in the club or practice.
Trying to think. I don't think I actually ever wrestled him in high school, but we wrestled a couple times in middle school.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we've known each other practically the entire time we wrestled.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty close with him and Max, like I said before, and his dad, really nice dad, really nice guy. Yeah, it was, I was pretty close with him. So it's safe to say that we knew each other in this match. That's why it was a pretty low scoring match, right?
I can understand. And Oldham County High School to Trinity isn't that far of a trip. I mean,
it is not. No.
Just get on I-71, go north, and you'll run basically right into it. So we are going to get our computer set, our TV set. We have to get a few things adjusted here. We are going to go back to the Horse Park 2016. We'll see you guys there. You guys are seeing what we're seeing. We're at the Horse Park in Lexington, right off I-64. Or no, correction, off I-75. Let me get my interstates correct. I-75 going north. We're back here, Horse Park. This is the year 2016. They done the 7th, 5th, 3rd, and 1st place. So if you have any complete matches of the 2016 state finals, please send them to me. I only have 2 complete that I know of. One is this one, and one is AJ Bender's that we done the video from Fern Creek. So you're back here on the mat. Got all these other matches going on. Do you process, okay, this is my last time wrestling for Trinity, or is it just another match? What's your mentality kind of going into this?
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to be my last one. And I was just I was more focused on, I'm back here, and if I stick to my game, I'll win, That's kind of was all in my mind. I wasn't thinking about all the noise around it or anything. I was just focus on winning,
I completely understand. Now, this video was shot, or filmed, I should say. I don't want to use the word shoot or shot, but it was filmed from the stands by, is it your dad, your brothers?
It was actually Kelly Duncan.
Okay.
We had this thing where it's like we would always go over review videos when we were like sophomore year, and Kelly would do Keegan's and my dad would do mine. Okay. And Kelly would always be yelling at Keegan when he was doing it, so we would switch. So
I got you.
My dad did Keegan's and Kelly did mine,
and
he would still yell at me.
I can hear him. Yeah, you can hear some coaching going on here. So enough of us talking. Let's go. We turn down the volume just a little bit. We don't want the volume to override us. So you're there, different singlet. I think you got Eric Friddle as your official here, I think. What about your wrestling had changed from being a junior to a senior?
I was a little bit, I wouldn't say conservative. I reared it back a little bit, and I pulled the reins back a little bit on it. Mm-hmm. And the fact that I was still going and I was still shooting my shots and getting after it. It was just I was trying to look for things more as opposed to rushing everything, forcing stuff. I tried to open up and kind of look at what do I have, what are my options.
No, that's a heck of a mentality to have. Right, we're out of bounds, we're neutral.
It's kind of shifting gears, right? Mm-hmm. It's instead of 0 to 100, there's you get in the 3rd gear, you go 2nd, 4th, and I don't normally hit that slide bys like that, but
that was
I
slick.
felt it.
That was slick. That was slick.
It, went for it.
2. That was oh man, that was smooth right there. So you cut him. I believe you cut him. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, you let him up. Okay.
And here, Brady was really again we knew each other really well, so I knew I had to be a little bit more cautious because he was a funky wrestler. But he's pretty much, he liked front headlocks, and you can see it here. He's always trying to pull me in a front headlock. And I just kind of focused on, my game, just keeping his hands tied up.
Yeah.
I do wish I would have opened up a little bit more in this match. That's what I was looking back on it.
There's several guys that we've met with, and they've went back and watched your video, and they've said the exact same thing. Man, I wish I would have just been a little bit more aggressive. I probably could have got a few more takedowns or maybe a turn.
Yeah, I think that was the only takedown in the whole match right there. It was like the first 30 seconds. And then it was just kind of like a hand fighting the rest of the time, getting put in front headlocks. I still went for shots, but...
All right, let's see here. Your choice. So you defer. He's of course going to take down. Was like the defer, was that just a automatic as well?
Yeah, it was just, I wanted to know because I already was in the lead, and I just wanted to. I guess there's two schools of thought for it. I could either build on my lead, or I could kind of see what I needed for the third period to win. Yeah. There's Kelly.
So, what was that? Red stalling. So ready to hit for stalling right there. And it's, this is a big arena. A lot of voices, a lot of people yelling. Able to defend that takedown pretty good. Neutral. All right, 2 seconds left. No.
Minute two.
Minute two, yeah. That's my bad. I can't read.
Or it might be 2 seconds. No, it's minute two.
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay. If there was a lull in the video, we apologize. It's just the, I guess, technology, even in 2016, didn't translate as well as it does in 2023, so. All right, we're out. 7 seconds to go.
Yeah, I don't like the high school out of bounds rules.
Yeah, it's...
I feel like it makes it more difficult for officials, too. Just because, it seems more subjective. Or, I guess,
So it's your choice. You're going to take down.
Yeah, and this is where he's trying to get a little funky on me.
There you go. Get you one. So you're up 3-2. And he's been hit for stalling already. I don't think you've been hit at all.
Mm-mm.
But you haven't really been stalling any, so you've been moving. You have, I guess, a lot of family and friends here as well for this one.
Yes, I had a lot of family friends for it. Yeah, it was, and it was kind of like a send-off because Keegan, Hudson, and I all came in as freshmen, and this was like our last year together, and Hudson broke through, and he went on to win his state title too, against Max Andrioni.
Max may be the best one-time state champion in Kentucky history, having the people he had to wrestle against.
Yeah.
Jordan in 2015, I don't know about, or this year, and he won it in 17.
This year he lost to Hudson Hindworth in the finals. Yeah. But, yeah, it was like the three of us, like the three amigos kind of go throughout high school together. We also had Tyler Frank Crone on our team.
Oh, yeah, that is right.
I thought I would have gotten that takedown right there.
It's close.
But I was also kind of looking for, like, I was kind of like, where's this stall call coming? You know, like, I was looking for that second stall call.
Come on, ref. He's backing up. What are we doing? We're backing up, ref. Call it. Come on, Friddle. What are we doing?
But, yeah. That was just a weird tournament how they had it set up, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was... Of course, this was a one-and-done year for that. So, now it went straight back to the next year to this one match, as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware how much time is left and that you're up one here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just kind of held on here. I felt pretty confident.
And
yeah, that's Keegan's little brother, Declan.
yeah.
He's actually a freshman at Trinity now.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
We'll make sure to give him a shout out there.
He's in the same house as me. We have a house system at Trinity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Flan and Fire.
And there it is, man, getting your second, and that's where the video ends. So watching it back, does it play out like 2015? Does it play out the way you remember?
Actually, I was a little bit more active than I thought I was. I just remember I left a lot of points on the mat. Didn't open up as much. So, it is what it is. Got the job done. Got the win.
And like the history book says, well, until my series come along, it didn't say this was a pretty win, this was a grinded out, this was whatever. It just showed you being the winner. Like the banners that you have up in Trinity's wrestling room doesn't say ugly win, pretty win, whatever. It just, you're a champion.
Yeah,
but
so that's all that matters really, I guess, at the end.
Of course, you talked about having a send-off from Trinity, but you didn't get a send-off from wrestling because after high school, you went on to college and wrestled collegiately. So let's kind of talk about that real quick. I'll let you tell it or go through your years because I have everything wrote down, but I think it would become better from you. So you leave Trinity, you graduate, you go to college. Where do you go to after Trinity?
Campbell University in North Carolina.
Okay.
And actually the day that I graduated was the day that I drove down. So I immediately left graduation, kind of hung out with some people, and then my dad drove me down to go start summer camp or summer training at Campbell.
Dedication.
So, yeah, so we were right into it, it was an experience. First 2 years I think were my toughest years, for sure. I guess like third year too was pretty tough, but it was a lot of kind of had happened. I feel like I grew into the position. Didn't know if I wanted to stay there. We always go through that moment of self-doubt, and I think that only you'd be crazy. Like nothing's gonna be easy, right? Especially in wrestling. So I ended up making the lineup my freshman year. Sophomore year, and I was in the lineup and I got hurt, so I was out. And then my junior year, I was out for half the season with injury, sick, concussions.
Oh, my.
I was kind of all over the place with that, and they bumped me up, and I made it to my first NCAAs.
Now, let's go over it, because I wanted you to get to that. What year was that, and what weight was that?
That was 2018, 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what weight did you make it?
That was at 157.
Wow.
And I was pretty light for that, I'm not going to lie.
Well,
I was weighing around like 160, 162, somewhere in that range. I wasn't very big. I bumped up from 49 and made it. Didn't have the best showing. I wrestled Tyler Berger first round. He's a national finalist that year.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a kind of hard to...
Yeah.
Tough draw.
Yeah, so I didn't, that was tough. And then the next year was COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they were going to redshirt me. There's talks about maybe putting me in the lineup. They didn't know. And then I had I had knee surgery again.
Oh, my.
So sophomore year, I was out because of injury because I had to get surgery on my knee. And then junior year, I retore my knee. So I had to get surgery on it. And then they already had everyone in the lineup. When I came back, I was kind of, I didn't really wrestle a whole lot that season. And then 2021, I had wrestled. I had a really good year starting off. We had like a half season. Beat Virginia Tech. Went on to like my last. Made it to the finals at SoCons, and went into double overtime and ended up losing. But I got an at-large bid, so that was pretty cool.
An at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. And what weight was that?
157.
So being able to make it 2 times in a collegiate career to the NCAA tournament, Division I NCAA tournament, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, that's saying something, man. That is something to be proud of. Mm-hmm. So
I did.
Stop me interrupting you more.
Yeah,
Go
you're
ahead.
good. I ended up doing well there. I mean, I didn't have like a crazy run or anything. Went 1 and 2, but I'd wrestled some pretty good guys. I wrestled Corey Teamer, who got 4th that year, and honestly, like, I felt like I gave him a good run for his money, but I didn't. It more so it's just like he was tired at the end of the match.
Yeah. Hey. Man, sometimes that's a win for some people,
Yeah, and he was just that guy was on another level. And then I wrestled in the back end of it. I wrestled the guy who I wrestled from Virginia Tech at the beginning of the season, beat him, Connor Brady, and then went on and wrestled Warner from Iowa, who got 7th that year. Okay. So I ran into 2 All-Americans. And I got a lot to learn from, and then I had an extra year because of COVID,
right.
And I took that at Lock Haven, where my old wrestling coach Kola went and won 2 titles from. So he was really big, a significant role in my life, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's helped me out a lot. He's helped me grow into the person I am today, into the wrestler I was, competed in, and. But then I went on there, had a bit of a rough start, dealt with some injury again, and ended up turning it around and winning a MAC title and going on to a national tournament again. So it's 3-time qualifier, a lot to be proud of.
That's an amazing career, man. That's amazing. And like you said in the first video, starting off in 1st grade, I believe, then just continuing all the way through. So.
Yeah, we actually, out of the 6 years I wrestled in college, I was a part of 5 championship teams.
Wow.
Championship teams. So it's pretty cool to be a part of that. And it's just like, the year before, Scott Moore, Ronnie Perry, shout out to them. They're awesome guys. They've helped me out a lot up at Lock Haven. The year before, they got messed up with COVID, so they weren't able to. The only tournament they wrestled was Max, the only time they wrestled. So they went. I think they scored, and I could be wrong, but it was like they scored, I think, 12 points in the whole tournament, and they didn't send anyone off to nationals. They were dead last, and then the next year when I came in, Anthony Noto, who's an All-American for him now, and I were the only MAC champions for him, and we helped, get them to winning it. So
that's awesome.
It's pretty cool to be
for
a part
real.
of.
That's just an amazing wrestling journey. And speaking of journeys, at some point wrestling does have to end competition-wise, but you now have become a salesman, a sales rep for tell us about your career now.
So I was going into transferring from Campbell into Lock Haven. I had gotten an internship with Rudis, and kind of dealt with that all that summer of 2021. And then now I took a year off. I went and coached at Lycoming College. That was a fun experience with Roger Krebs and kind of getting to know him, and he was a great guy to learn from within the sport. And then I ended up taking a job at Rudis, and now I'm actually the sales rep for Kentucky. So
that's awesome, man.
Calling everyone up that I'm sure people are annoyed about it, or they're excited about it, whatever their feelings are. But yeah, I'm a sales rep for them now, and I'm just trying to get involved with Kentucky more now that I'm kind of out of the sport, a little bit closer to home. I visit more often. I try to help people out, go to camps, and all that. So it's a pretty crazy career. So it's a lot of fun. I like it.
Hey,
Rudis is a fun company to work for.
I was gonna say, man, Rudis, they're like the Nike now of wrestling, because everywhere you go, Rudis. There's a couple others, but Rudis is the one that you see. I don't know how it was when you were in school, but like there was 2 apparel companies when I wrestled. Back in '99, 2000, that era was you had Brute and Cliff King, and that I'm sure they're still around. But like now, it's kind of the graphic design part of it, like the singlets, the warm ups, all that. That's really what has set them apart. Because now you see some singlets, some warm ups that are like awesome, but they're just so plain looking. They're so clean. You're like, man, I got that is so cool to have that. But man, Rudis, if you're interested in, this is not a paid spot here on the video, but if you're interested in Rudis, hit my man up. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to.
It's fun to work for Rudis. It's a great company and very grassroots in the sport.
That's great that you were able to pick up and just. You can't compete anymore at that level, I guess. So let's just sell the apparel. Hey, yeah. I'll make you look good, right? Yeah. I'll make you look like a champion. So, do you have anything, man, to wrap this up? Because I think we've covered a lot of ground, come to the end. But anything you'd like to add before we turn off the?
Yeah, I'd love to. So kind of picking people's brains. I've been around a lot of great wrestling minds over the years, and I think it's important. When I was younger, I remember when I first got off, I had like a mean headlock, head and arm headlock, and I remember some coaches telling me you're never gonna hit that, the classic, you're never gonna hit that on a good guy and stuff, right? And that's not the case, right? I mean, a great example was Darren Caldwell. He won a national title for NC State. He hit Brett Metcalf in a headlock, and so like that type of stuff, like I guess when you tell someone they're not gonna hit that on good guys, it kind of cuts off all their creativity and into it branching off into other things, And so one thing that I would say to like coaches is just like maybe come at a different angle instead of like, hey, like headlock shouldn't be like your first move, right? Like don't go for the headlock every time. Don't go for the lat drop every time, because people are gonna scout you. They're gonna know. It's gonna be something you have in your back pocket kind of thing. But the sport of wrestling it's been very instrumental in my whole life. It's gotten me to the point where I am today. I have a lot of friends all over the country and a couple friends outside. I got friends that live in Finland and Mongolia.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and like because of wrestling. So it's an amazing sport. It really teaches you a lot of life lessons, and if you really dive into it and you try to become like healthy. I always call it like a healthy obsession with it,
I can see that. Watching
videos, like this is pretty cool. This helps grow the sport within the state, and just like competing constantly. Like I feel like when you get over the fear of competing and competition, that's when things start to become fun, Right. You start playing around, like in the summer. The summer should be more geared towards learning new things, drilling stuff, and then just playing in the sport, going to tournaments, trying something that you saw. That's when you start having more fun with the sport. And I think it's big that we need to do that. It's crucial that people need to start seeing that side of the sport as opposed to weight cut,
Yeah.
Dude, we got to go live. We got to go run. We got to do this and that. It's one of those things that you just you got to learn to have fun with it. You got to learn to kind of, and not to sound too cliche with it, but embrace the grind.
I think that's a perfect way to end the video. Is embrace the grind.
Yeah.
Embrace the grind. Mm-hmm. So, man, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. Thank you for doing this. It's gonna be a great addition to the channel. A lot of people, remember your wrestling and especially your college journey. And now, man, just another phenomenal story to add to the history books of Kentucky wrestling. So that's all we got here from the St. Matthews area of the great city of Louisville. I'm going to go now to the state fair. I've never been, so I'm gonna go check it out, and maybe we'll see some people we can do reviews with whenever they get in a fight in the crowd. No, I'm kidding. That's all we got. We'll see you guys on the mats.
At 152 pounds, Trinity Louisville's Benjamin Barton edged Oldham County's Brady Emerson 3-2 to claim the state championship.
Ladies and gentlemen,